What's up, y'all? It's Masante Bay of the Bitter Truth Show. Of course, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook under the Bitter Truth Show. You can also find me under the Bitter Truth After Dark on Ustream. If you guys want to catch me live when I go on the air, I would suggest you go to Ustream and look under that, the Bitter Truth After Dark, and subscribe to that channel. Um, Yesterday, I finally peeped out a video that let me make sure I get my sister's name right. The Radical Home Goddess. She had been posting these videos for the past couple weeks about the Fukushima fallout. And I mean, I lead a busy life, especially when I'm at work. I get up, I got to do day stuff, and then I go to work. I come home and get ready to do it all over again. 2 days off, whatever, full-time job stuff. And the titles of the videos that she was posting weren't really like, grabbing my attention, and I was judging the titles. Excuse me. I'm judging the titles by the. Well, I'm judging the videos by the titles. Excuse me. I, was- I know petty shit worrying about this hat, but so I'm thinking that Fukushima fallout was the Japanese doing psychological experiments on people, the whole Pavlov dog thing. I didn't think nothing of it. But then yesterday she posted a video where they were talking about all the sea life and wildlife that was washing up on the shores of Alaska. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, wait a minute. What Fukushima fallout, animals dying. What is going on? So I listened to that video. And then I went back and I listened to the other videos that she posted concerning this, and I realized that I had made a terrible mistake that a lot of us normally make, and by judging things by its title. All right. Um, so let me explain to y'all what exactly the Fukushima fallout really is about. And I want y'all to look it up. And I'm gonna type look, that's how you spell it. Fukushima. Fukushima. It's a nuclear power plant off Tokyo. And since March, yeah, March 11th of 2011, it had sank a bit into the ocean, into the Pacific Ocean out there in outside of Tokyo, Fukushima, of course. And it cracked. The containment centers had been breached. So what had happened was all of this nuclear waste, power, and energy was being dispelled into the ocean. All right. And you're talking about hundreds and thousands of gallons daily, not over months or per year, daily since 2011. Almost, we're going on 5 years. We're coming up on the 5 year anniversary of this. Hundreds of thousands of gallons per day of radiated water. And they haven't been able to shut it down because, in order for them to shut it down, you have to destroy Tokyo. You have to, boom, mushroom cloud. And the fallout from that is greater than people imagine. Because here, okay, look, take for example when the United States dropped the bomb on Japan at the end of World War II. They had estimated the damage that it would cause as far as the nuclear fallout. But what they estimated was not on par with what really happened after that. You know, it's like when you tell a child, hey, look, don't touch the stove is hot. And the child, okay, realizes, well, hot, that sounds like it might cause a little pain, but how much pain could the heat cause? How hot is the stove? So then you go to the bathroom or go to watch what's going on with your favorite TV show while you're cooking, and then next thing you know, you hear that scream coming from the kitchen, and you run in there, and the little kid is standing there holding his hand, because and now you got to take care of that because they didn't understand just how hot that stove really was on their flesh until they actually found out. So here we are, 5 years, and trust me, they've tried to contain it, but they cannot. They cannot shut down the reactor without causing a nuclear explosion. 5 years. Let me explain this to you. I'm gonna explain this to y'all. You know the methane gas scare situation going out in California right now? Where the hell do you think that came from? Yeah, fallout from Fukushima, where you can light a match, smoke a cigarette, or just any little spark, skating, anything, and that methane gas hits it, and bye bye California in a blaze of glory, or if you want to call it glory. Also, now keep in mind, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Y'all know I don't sit up here and talk about magic bullets and uh, was he or wasn't he MLK sleeping with white women in hotel rooms, and was Malcolm X gay? I don't get into that bull crap. Y'all know this. Y'all know me. I don't get into I really try to avoid the celebrity gossip. I'll make a quick mention and then I'll talk about something way more serious. And that's exactly what this is. This is something I can't, I'm going to explain the magnitude of this thing. So here we are going on the 5 year anniversary, and as I said, wildlife is washing up on the shores of not just Alaska, but Washington and California. Birds, dead birds, about the thousands, whole species that eat from the Pacific Ocean are being found dead, even way inland, like hundreds of miles inland, where they don't normally migrate, are being found, and they're being found with empty bellies because there's nothing to eat. They're dying of starvation simply because the creatures that they eat that come from the Pacific Ocean, because these mere birds, they they eat the fish, the little bitty fish that you see swimming in the Pacific Ocean that's so harmless. They eat that. Those fish are no longer in existence. They've been wiped out. And how did they get wiped out? And now this is critical thinking time, y'all. Don't come at me with no bullshit. This is critical thinking time. They've been wiped out because that irradiated water has killed them. From Tokyo to the United States. Do you not understand me? 5 years of hundreds of gallons, hundreds upon hundreds of gallons of irradiated water daily. Now tell me if you have not noticed that the price, because I'm allergic to shellfish, so in order to make sure that I don't mess up, I don't eat fish, period. But I asked the question of somebody today. I said, hey, tell me something. Has the price of fish went up? And he was like, yeah. Like, can't get it out of the ocean anymore. Matter of fact, come to find out, they have banned fishermen from fishing out of the Pacific Ocean. Don't go over there. Nope. Get it from the Atlantic or from the Gulf Coast, which we already know has been poisoned with the oil spill. And this is what people fail to understand. Because they like, oh, well, get your bottled water and get your shelters. And I'm like, what you fail to understand is that those are stalling tactics. Because you can get all the shelters and all the bottled water and all the canned goods, which I do have in this kitchen right here in the cabinets. And tomorrow I'm going to go through them to see how long, what are the expiration dates on that. And then I'm going to go out and buy new shit because I have to. I have to go out and buy a thing of water and find a way to test it to make sure that it's coming from a pure source. All right. And then stock up on that and just throw it in the basement. Because what y'all don't seem to understand is that like the title says, they've killed us. It's over. Game over. All worried about, racist white folks, worrying about starting black businesses, all right, worried about what celebrities doing what. That shit has now become a moot point in all of our existences. It matters now this much. The biggest thing you need to worry about is where you're going to get your food, where you're going to get clean, fresh water that's not irradiated for the short period of time that you can get it, and stocking up on your ammo and weaponry. Because let me explain something to y'all. And this is why I say they killed us. And any person with any brain, I mean, this is like, I'm talking fifth grade science here. If water has three forms: solid, liquid, and a gas. Solid, of course, we know is an ice cube. A liquid is what we see in the ocean, and the gas is the clouds that we see up in the sky. Now, if this irradiated water that life is dead in, it cannot sustain life. If the sun is baking this water to form clouds that rotate around the earth, and then when they get dense enough, and the ion particles are cloud, and then it makes the cloud turn into a solid back into its liquid form and hits the soil and feeds the plants, which we know that irradiated water is not going to grow. You can't grow anything with irradiated water. It's poison. So therefore, the crops are going to be killed. The soil is going to become useless because the water that's hitting the soil is now irradiated. The cows and the deer and the meat, the vegetables aren't growing, so the meat that eats off of the grass, just the grass. If the grass is not growing because the water is irradiated and is poisoned the ground, what's going to happen to the cattle? What's going to happen to the meat that we eat? They can't eat. So what are they going to do? They're going to starve off and die. What little grass that's left that they are going to eat, the browning of it out of starvation, is going to be irradiated. So now you've got cattle that's dying from eating or radiated grass, all right? Or maybe getting sick. And what's going to happen when the grocery stores run out of food? Because the food is you like, man, like the cattle was dying off. We can't grow crops. All we got left is these canned goods that's been sitting on the shelf. And guess what? People are buying them up like crazy because finally people are waking up and realizing, man, I can't get nothing fresh. You can't serve them fresh. And what are you gonna do? Keep serving them chemically created foods made out of what water? The irradiated water that's now taking over the earth because of this damn nuclear power plant that they can't shut down that's been running for 5 years. And you're like, and I know y'all sitting there like, well, how come the news ain't said nothing? Oh my God, you morons. If Tom Brokaw came out of retirement and he came on the news, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We've all been poisoned by a nuclear power plant in Fukushima, Japan. We're all going to die. We've got 2 to 5 years left just on this continent alone, here in the United States. It hasn't reached Africa yet, but it's coming. What do you think people are going to do? You think they're going to sit there and go, oh, well, shit, I'm going to turn the wheel of fortune? No. It's going to start a worldwide panic. So they sit there and they say nothing. Just like they did with Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan is just the tip of the, it's just the tip of the needle. Sure, we want to say, oh, well, they just wanted to poison black folks. But shit, I mean, the town was 60% white. I mean, 60% black. What do you think the other 40% was comprised of? They really just did not give a shit. And now we're talking about global, global devastation. We are literally talking about the apocalypse. I mean, literally, literally, literally talking about the apocalypse. And it's funny, I called my aunt. No, actually, she called me this morning. My Bible thumper aunt that's conscious. And I told her about this. I said, hey, guess what? And I dropped this on her. And I said, the first thing that came to my mind when I heard about this, I was like, wormwood. The Bible verse, wormwood. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to do this. Although I probably shouldn't. For those of you who are not, yeah, the wormwood star. Because, I mean, I grew up in the church and I'm familiar with Revelations, but, all right. It says here, it says, although the word wormwood appears several times in the Old Testament, translated from the Hebrew, which means curse in Arabic and Hebrew, its only clear reference as a named entity occurs in the New Testament in the book of Revelation. The third angel sounded his trumpet, and a great star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters turned bitter, and many people died from the waters that had become bitter. Now, if you know anything about nuclear power plants, they say that the combustion that happens, that creates the power, burns as hot as the sun. That's what they say. Therefore, it's like starfire. The sun is considered a star. That plant sunk into the water, poisoned the water. Plant sunk into the water and poisoned it. Cracked, containment cracked, everything poisoned. 5 years in, nobody's been able to stop it. Can't stop it. And I'm not y'all know me. I'm not a religious person. I'm an atheist. My interpretation of God and everything is all about universal law, universal principle, universal philosophies. I believe in karma and all of that. Those people out in California are already dead. They just don't know it yet. We wonder, and this is what kills me. We wonder why in the past 5 years, we wonder why there's been a rise in cancers, why there's been a rise in birth defects, why there's been a rise in illnesses. And of course, it's coming from the food and the water that we drink. Because the shit has been poisoned, chemicalized. It's not healthy. And if there's no good food to eat, if there's no natural food to eat, how the hell do you expect to survive? How do you expect to have another generation of children, healthy children? And now with this going on, it's kind of funny. I sit here and keep in mind now, I've been reading the Walking Dead books before it was even thought of as far as being a TV show. And what y'all see on the TV show does not, I'm just saying, follow me here, is not in tune with the books. The books are much more graphic, much more brutal, incredibly violent. They actually deal with the reality of how would you live and survive in a society that has no laws, where food is scarce and everybody's out for themselves, where you look like dinner or you are dinner. And I mean, sure, it's like we use the way I look at it. The zombies are the backdrop. It's all about, well, where's the humanity? I watch it for the humanity. Just like I read the books. I read the books about, well, how are they exercising their humanity in dealing with this situation? I can tell you right now, if we find ourselves in that type of situation, which we are going to do, it's going to be a Mad Max Walking Dead situation within the next 5 years. A lot of us are screwed. A lot of us are dead. A lot of us are dead already. People on the West Coast, and this is what kills me. They say that the sea spray coming from the Pacific Ocean goes 200 miles inward. When those of you who've been on the beach and or wherever, the beach, any type of shoreline, and the waters are crashing in and you feel that cool breeze coming in, like, yeah, ooh, yeah, that feels good, especially on a hot summer day. That's seawater. That goes 200 miles inward. Now, where are you going to go to survive that? Uh, no, no. Where are you going to go? 200 miles inward. Hey, I'm recording. I'm recording. All right, come. Where are you going to go? There's nowhere you can go. There's no underground bunkers you can create. There's no water purification tablets you can drop in your water. All right. There's no way you can grow crops. They've essentially literally killed this planet. And it was by accident. I mean, sure, all the racial strife and all the wars and tensions, all of that shit is by design. This was not by design. This was a major fuck up. And those of you who are all in the alien prophecies, how the aliens, like once we start, you know, X Files it. Well, it was like they're saying, and I mean whether it's true or not, I don't know. I wasn't here, but this is what they say. Whatever. I'm just covering up everybody's bases. That when we started nuclear testing, that's when aliens from other planets was like, what the fuck is going on the Earth? Like, oh, hey. And they came down here and was like, hey, y'all can't be doing this shit. What the fuck is y'all doing? That shit is dangerous. And, you got Roswell crashes and, them kidnapping aliens and shit and, dissecting them and taking the technology. And they said this is the reason why after the Roswell crash after 1954, we've had a technological boom because we've been taking shit off of their ships and figuring out how shit work and now we got fucking smartphones and shit with where within the past 50 years, how the hell did you come up with that? Humans have been on this earth since the dawn of time, and now suddenly 1957, now we are with webcams and computers and I mean my computer that I bought the brand new and it's Wi-Fi. I don't have to plug it into anything. I can take this sucker anywhere within anywhere that has Wi-Fi. As long as I got the password to their Wi-Fi, this computer can go anywhere with me. Flat screens, big as you can get them. And they said that they were like, y'all fucking up. Like y'all getting ready to y'all gonna kill yourselves. Y'all are fucking shaved apes. Not us. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing. Y'all gonna kill yourselves. This is not something that you play with. There's a reason why the people before you knew how to create this stuff, but chose not to. There's a reason why the Africans who lived in Kemet/Egypt, why they had all of these designs on the walls and the hieroglyphics on how to create helicopters and all of this stuff, and said, yeah, okay, we just documented, but we're not gonna fuck with it. Because they had the freaking intelligence and the forethought to say, you know what, that's dangerous to the environment. And if we create way too many of these, it's going to screw up the air, the environment, the wildlife, everything. Like things will go crazy. We can't do that. That's just ain't natural. No, motherfuckers always trying to skate uphill. And now here we are. What's funny? I'm just glad that I was going out, you know, to my ex-girls. I stayed out in the country. I'm so glad I was going out to her house and getting in my target practicing. Right. I'm so glad I bought a lot of ammo. Matter of fact, I need to see if I can find more clips. And matter of fact, I think what I really need to do is up my weaponry, stock up on more canned goods if I can, and try to find bottled water that is not poisonous. I think that should be my focus. And the fucked up part is, I was ready for it back in 1999 when we were supposed to have the whole computer crisis, you know, Y2K. I was ready then. I was ready then. I was ready 16 years ago. And now here I am. I have to refresh the skills. Y'all may think it may sound like I'm talking crazy, but we'll see. That's all I can tell you. We'll see. It's on y'all, man. Just telling y'all what's popping. All right. I'm signing out. Peace.